community for goodness and making progress in love. Not long ago, Katie sent me a new song she wrote and recorded. It's actually the song that was playing as you arrived this evening. Katie's partner, Emma, shared with me that Katie spent a tremendous amount of time on this particular song. When I finally got to hear it, I was deeply moved by all the profound messages in this song. Some of these lyrics stayed with me. Katie sang, "You stand up for me, and I'll stand up for you. Don't know what we're gonna have to do? Start by learning the truth." That is one of the reasons that we're here tonight, to stand up for each other, and most especially for Katie. And I know that every single person gathered here wants to learn the truth about why we lost her and her beloved Bowie. For many of us in the Midtown community, both Katie and Emma were familiar faces. They were part of restaurants that served Midtown as places of social connection, friendship, and yeah, sure, maybe one drink or 10 too many. For Katie's regulars, she was known and loved. For me, she was a source of comfort and support. Katie was always there. I admired Katie's Spider-Man-like bartending skills. The place could be packed, and somehow Katie would be over refilling my water glass that was only a sip empty because I was drinking, or grabbing my crumpled napkin. It took me a while to truly get to know Katie as a person. Over time, she revealed many, many unexpected layers and qualities. Katie was humble and trustworthy, deeply intelligent, creative, and well-informed. When I told her I was planning a trip to Cuba a couple years ago, she launched into a full background report like a true reporter, and I don't mean the fake news style. I got it. We are mourning the horrific and tragic loss of a beloved member of many communities. The Atlanta Midtown community, the restaurant community, the dog lover community, the musician and artist community, and most of all, the community of human kindness. In Katie's song, I referenced earlier, "Stand Up," she sang these lyrics. "This is a terrible song. Nobody should be singing along. But today, as much as all of us might wish for silence and peace, the song is not over. As believers in a world where we should have no need to be gathered here right now, we have to raise our voices in community for Katie." Thank you. And now I'd like to welcome Courtney Smith, president of the Midtown Neighbors Association.
Good evening, everybody. I'm here mostly tonight as your neighbor, as your fellow Midtown neighbor. I didn't know Katie personally, but I did interact with her like many of you did at Campagnolo. I'm here to share my condolences with Emma and her family, but also with all of you, because as a community, this hurts in a really deep way. We've heard about a lot of crime recently in Atlanta. This was in our neighborhood. It was to our friend, it was to our fellow neighbor, it was to someone who was really important to all of us. And so while all the crime is always terrible, this one feels particularly sharp right now. And I can tell all of you that I appreciate you reaching out and asking what you can do. And Jennifer asked that I take the mic tonight to share some of those action items that you can take. Sometimes it can be frustrating to feel helpless. And I know that the question I'm getting most often from all of you is, why can't we get more information? And I think it's frustrating, and I understand that, and I want it too, because I want to be able to share it with all of you. But the one thing I can ask of you tonight is patience, because when I find myself wanting more information about why and who and how could this happen, I remember that Katie's family, more than anyone else, wants this person brought to justice. And anything that we do to jeopardize that is not in the service of her family. So I just ask you to be patient while the APD do their work. The detectives and the investigators do what they need to gather the accurate factual information and have a successful, solid case that can be prosecuted. And we will continue to advocate with the APD to release information as soon as they can. And we will make sure that we get it out. In the meantime, if you want to talk about actions you can take that are long-term, sustainable, advocating for lighting, cameras, I've heard a lot about that. Funding patrols so that we can have a bolstered presence in the neighborhood. I'm here anytime. I'll be here all night. I'm happy to talk to any of you. But I don't think now is the time to make that call. You can go to our website and you can reach out to me and I will answer every email. We do have an event on Tuesday that I think will bring you all some comfort. It is called National Night Out. It's an annual event we do every year. We've done it for 20 years, but it's particularly timely this year. It's an evening where APD, fire, council people, all sorts of community outreach programs for mental illness and homelessness come together for a block party on Myrtle Street. You can get answers, you can find ways to reach out and help, and more than anything else, you can sit with your neighbors. And I think right now everybody wants to feel like they're with their community, that they're with their neighbors, and that everybody cares to make a difference. So join us on Tuesday, if you like, from 5 to 7 on Myrtle Street. And I'm happy to stay as long as I need to tonight answering any of your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Courtney Smith. Deputy Chief Darren Scherbaum from the APD.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I am Darren Scherbaum, Deputy Chief with the Atlanta Police Department, but I think just as importantly, I am a resident of Midtown. I can look down on Piedmont Park. We as a police department share the grief of the Midtown community, share the grief of the family, and I stand here not for myself, but for Chief Bryan and all the women and men of the Atlanta Police Department. If you could see the work that is being done now by your police department, you'd be proud of them. A tireless effort to determine who was responsible for this crime. We have the commitment of this department that will not stop. We appreciate everyone that came out yesterday and supported our tactical neighborhood canvass. That is vital to what we do. We are a successful police department when we have the support of the community. And when I look around and as far as I can see up on the hill, I see the community. If you have any information, we ask you continue to reach out to us, call Crime Stoppers, let us know what you have. We will act on your behalf to do that. My words tonight will be few, but the actions of this police department are many. They're ongoing. They have not stopped, and they will not stop. not only the men and women of our department, but multiple agencies are partnering with us to ensure we have the best people, the right technology on this case to ensure that it's solved. So we ask for your continued support. As we grieve with you, our officers are working on your behalf. We ask for your patience as we work forward on this, but have my word, as your neighbor, as a person that's taken an oath to support this neighborhood, we will do all we can to make sure this case is solved. Thank you all for being here tonight.
And another dear friend of Katie's, well, first, thank you to Deputy Scherbaum. Another dear friend of Katie's, the owner of Whole World Theater, and her boss, actually, at Whole World Theater, Chip Howell.
For those of you that made it out Thursday and are back tonight, thank you so much for turning up for Katie. A lot's happened with us. There's a lot of rumors out there. There's a lot of bad things going on. But I want us to take the time to focus on the positive of Katie. Katie was a wonderful person. Katie loved comedy. That's why I hired her. She worked behind my bar endlessly because she got to enjoy the show for free and get paid. And she always had fun. And when I wasn't at Whole World, I was over at Campanolo because it's right across the street from my house, and I was able to walk over there. And Katie would love to pull up all of her favorite SNL clips, anything and everything that she could to make us laugh or smile, even at Campanolo, away from improv. She was a wonderful spirit, and I don't want it to be stained by things that you're hearing now. I want you to focus on the joy and the love of Katie. So when you get to that point of the week, and we all will get there, and you're not feeling good, just go to YouTube, click your favorite SNL, and think about Katie laughing, because that's what she would have done. Thank you, everybody, for turning out tonight.
Thank you, Chip. Emma's first cousin, Heather Johnson. Heather, where are you? Oh, right.
Hey, good evening. Thank you, everybody. I'm from a smaller town. I'm a little bit envious, I'm not going to lie, of the community and love that you all have for Emma and for Katie and for Justice. But I'm talking to you today to let you know how grateful and humbled we are truly by the kindness and outpouring of selflessness from everybody that knew or did not know Katie or Emma in giving with the GoFundMe. This is a process, and we're going to do whatever it takes, for however long it takes, to make sure that when we get to the new normal, that we can look back and laugh at what life was. It won't ever be the same, but we appreciate you, and we're gonna keep going. We're not gonna stop. So we appreciate you all, again, just giving selflessly of your time, your finances, your money. It's hard earned, I know that. So it's hard to let go of that dollar sometimes. But y'all have blown us away, and we are eternally grateful. And I thank you very much.
Thank you, Heather. Josh Noblet is the Minister of Social Justice at St. Mark's to lead us in spiritual.
Well, good evening, everybody. I wish we were meeting under different circumstances because it's hard. when a tragedy like this happens in a community, it's been, barely 5 days, I think, since this happened. And we aren't even beginning to wrap our minds around what a tragic loss this is, both of Katie and also Bowie. I wish that I'd known Katie, but I know the community that Katie lived in. And there's a lot of beautiful people that are part of that community, as evidenced by all of you here this evening. And when violence strikes in a way like this, it hurts. It hurts a lot. And we all feel that in a very different way. Many of us are left with questions. How in the world did this happen? What happened? And on and on and on. The would've, could've, should've. And we may get the answers to some of those questions, and some of them we may not. But one thing that we do know is that love is the universal language. All of us, from the tiniest child to the eldest senior, know love when we see it and when we feel it. And as evidenced by all of us gathered here today, we need to show love, especially to Emma and to the family and to all of our friends and family. We need to love on them and love on each other, because that is what gets us through times like this. In some traditions, I'm told that it's perceived that we die 3 deaths. One is when our spirit leaves our body. Second is when our remains are buried, and the third is when our name is spoken for the last time on the earth. And my guess is that Katie's name is going to be spoken for a long, long time because of the impact that she made in so many people's lives. And I'm grateful for her life, and I'm grateful for all of you, and I hope that this gathering here tonight can be some small comfort to her friends and family, because we love you, we stand with you, and we're here to celebrate her life. If you have a candle, I want to invite you to light it. I know it's a little breezy out tonight. And as we close out our time here together, if you ever light a candle in a dark room, what happens? The darkness kind of is driven back pretty quickly. And each of us represent, whether we have a candle or not, each of us represent a light in the darkness. And that we show up with our light, gathered, especially when all of us are gathered closely together, a large light illuminates, and we can all be a part of it together. So I invite us all to lift our candles together, remembering Katie, and especially those words that she was singing, if you stand with me, I'll stand with you. Well, we stand with you, Katie. We stand with you here tonight. And as we close, just to be in a spirit of reflection, feel free to go back over to the memorial over here and view all the cards and the flowers and the candles, and just send out more love each and every day. Amen.
We're gonna close just with Katie's song playing, and if you all just want to walk in and honor her closer to the memorial site, we welcome you to. Thank you all for attending. Thanks for everybody that came and helped out. Thank you for the family that is here. Thank you.